For my second film project, I decided to do it over PTSD. The movie I chose was The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and my character is Charlie Kalmekis. It's 1991, and Charlie's been diagnosed from the psychiatric hospital. He's already been diagnosed with clinical depression since he was a child, and he's beginning his freshman year of high school. At this time, his best friend has shot himself a year ago, and his aunt died when he was a young boy. The diagnosis I would give him is PTSD. He's experienced a traumatic event and has flashbacks and symptoms that occur very frequently. PTSD is diagnosed in all cultures, and it's acknowledged that trauma is experienced worldwide and PTSD can be the result of it in some people. However, different cultures experience different reactions to it. People with PTSD are thought to be violent and have self-stigmatizing thoughts. They have thoughts like, I am broken, I am weak, or this happened because of the way I acted. Natasha Benfer says in Self-Stigma and PTSD, negative cognitions about the self or also self-stigmatizing may be particularly salient for certain trauma types where societal and cultural stigmas are high, such as survivors of military trauma and sexual assault. Violence is present along with many other factors commonly seen in veterans, and the relationship between violence and PTSD needs to be interpreted cautiously because alcohol use and anger issues do come into play as well. For evidence, I have flashbacks and negative thoughts and feelings. Throughout the film, Charlie's family asks him if he's still seeing things. This is in reference to his Aunt Helen's death because he was with her when it happened. Charlie gets flashbacks in moments that remind him of times that he shared with her. The first one was Charlie was out during the snow during Christmas and got a flashback to his aunt being out there with him, moments before they got into the car to go pick up his present, where on the way a car crashed into them and killed his aunt. Then another one was when Sam, his love interest, touches his thigh. He stops kissing her and has a flashback to his aunt sexually abusing him, which is also a memory he'd repressed. For negative thoughts and feelings, Charlie carries guilt with him because he thinks he killed his aunt. He also believes he's responsible because part of him wanted her to die for abusing her, which he reveals to his sister over a phone call before he tries to kill himself. Sam finds out that Charlie's best friend killed himself and realizes the pain he's in. She tells her brother and they raise their cups to Charlie. That's when he says, I didn't think anyone noticed me. He has thoughts like this where he doesn't think he's deserving of these friendships or love. Charlie doesn't suffer from criteria E of the DSM-5 diagnosis. Disturbance causes slight clinically significant distress or impairment in occupation areas of functioning. This is because Charlie's PTSD doesn't get in the way of his academic work. In fact, he's able to keep good grades and write many essays over the books his teacher gives him. For treatment, I'd recommend cognitive therapy involving some exposure therapy. Charlie often has negative thoughts about himself, and they've led him to the hospital. The goal here would be to find where these thoughts come from and find better ways to react when things go wrong. We would do this by identifying the issue or the negative thought and replacing it with something positive. Some ethical considerations would involve trust between the therapist and Charlie. He may be nervous about his family knowing about the abuse he went through, so it might prevent him from being honest. Building that trusting relationship would eventually allow Charlie to open up. In exposure therapy, clients work to confront the trigger of their symptoms in a safe environment in order to develop coping skills and strategies for managing them. Sarah Hansen. Charlie's display of PTSD is an accurate portrayal of the disorder. In films, we're often shown PTSD in adults and veterans, which can seem intense and severe. In The Perks of Being a Wallflower, we're shown a perspective we don't usually see, a teenager or someone who's faced sexual assault. PTSD in film helps us understand it more clearly, especially those who don't have contact with anyone struggling with it. It can also be very helpful to those who do have friends or family members that have PTSD. They can gain a better understanding of triggers, what they are, and how they can be of some help. These are my sources.